Hello, everyone. It is Chef TrèJ. It has been a while since I dropped an episode, and I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I'm going to say I was getting prepared for this new season of my life. So I had to take a step back and really think about where I wanted learn from my F ups to go. What is the purpose behind it? We'll go through these different stages of life where we have to reinvent ourselves, tweak some things, work on some things because of our F ups, right? So I am actually doing this where I am being recorded. Um, you got to start with what you have. Start with what you got. As Kels would say, do it ugly. Shout out to the Do It Ugly brand. I really have been going through a transition in my life with several things. So I'll share them and then we're going to get into the episode. One of them is dealing with my mental capacity to see past where I'm at. A lot of times we don't want to talk about it, but we will definitely put a glass ceiling over ourselves, thinking that we should look a certain way, reach a certain goal before we start really digging into doing the next thing. And that is not how it's supposed to be done. If God gives you an idea, places it in your heart, and you literally can start with where you are and the resources you have, do it. Do it. Do you hear me? Do not F up like I did and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait because I wanted to be a certain way. I wanted to look a certain way. I wanted to be a certain way. I wanted my legs to be a certain way. I was blessed to go to the Done is Better Than Perfect conference March the 6th, 5th and 6th in Atlanta, Georgia, hosted by Derek Harper Sr. Shout out to my mentee chef, DeAndre Beasley, and his lovely wife, Colby. They blessed me to go to the conference. And I went to the first day and I actually volunteered. And so I got to meet Ash Cash, who is an incredible influencer, and listen to Pastor William Murphy as well. But I got to hug Derek Harper. Why is that so significant? This man created this entire platform, Done is Better Than Perfect, hashtag the Free Hive, off of his heart. What people would have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, he gave. He gave away. He gives away game every single day. And he partners with his resources of people who have hit certain platforms in their life. And they are sewing into the Free Hive. He started it in December, and it's 55K strong or more right now. And it was just an amazing atmosphere. The conference was amazing. I got to handle the photo booth and greet the VIP, help people register in. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because today's topic is customer service. Customer service. Customer service, number one, starts at home. It starts at home, meaning it starts in your establishment. It starts with how you are and who you are and how you treat people, how you serve, customer service. And to be able to greet people and hug people and love on people and see them in person, people that you've seen online for the last 3 months, and then boom, you're able to be in a room with them. It was amazing. It was refreshing. But it also let me know how customer service has just been shot in establishments. People always say, I want that Chick-fil-A service. I want their public service, right? The thing is, it's how you're trained. So, how does this tie into the culinary hospitality world? There are 3 key components that you as a business owner, a restaurant owner, or manager need to have in-house before you do anything with a customer or client. And it is customer service within your establishment. What does that mean? 1 is listening to your team. 2 is being observant of your surroundings and of the ecosystem of your team. And 3, how you talk to your team, how you deliver. These 3 things will magnify in how your people treat people when it comes to customers and clientele. It starts in-house. It's just like when parents have a baby and they dress them a certain way. And folks will be like, oh, you got some good home training. Because you represent your parents or whomever has reared you, right? So your staff, your people, the ones that you hire, they are a reflection of you. This great resignation that's been going on, it is not people quitting jobs. It's people quitting the lack of leadership. The lack of leadership. The lack of accountability. The lack of listening. The lack of being able to communicate. The lack of drive. The lack of responsibility to the establishment and to your team. So let's talk about component number 1, listening to your team. You will have some team members who are more verbal than others. You will have some who are introverts and extroverts. You're going to deal with a lot of different personality types. However, you still need to make sure you train. I don't know why people don't train anymore, but just a quick plug, if you need to train your team in customer service, I do a 3-day intensive and definitely can get your team together. But back to listening to your team. So I have myself been in situations where I tried to go to my either manager or owner about things that were lacking or that we needed for the facility, and I get ignored. How can you be a leader and you ignore the things that are needed for your establishment? So, I used to work at Genghis Grill. years ago. This was what, 2013. Okay. And I I was just getting something until I figured out how I wanted to do another twist on my catering business. Because I had moments of burnout where I was just like, let me just take a break from actually catering. But we'll talk about that another day. And I got this job. My daughter at the time was in, I think, the 8th grade. And I walked in. The place hadn't been open but maybe a year and a half, possibly going on 2 years. And Genghis Grill has a cold bar where you have people come through the line and they, put in a bowl what they want, and then we cooked it on a huge centered flat top with sticks. That was the concept. So because of my personality and because of my background with allergies, nutrition, I was the one that handled the cold bar. And in doing so, I learned so many things about people. How people, their meticulousness, how to deal with so many different allergies, how some people you needed to be the one to actually get the ingredients for them versus them getting it for themselves. Just I've always been very flexible and adaptable, and some people aren't that way. And that's another key thing in listening to your team. You'll start figuring out who is supposed to be where. So, with that being said, the cold bar broke. So it wasn't keeping at temperature. And that's very, very dangerous. You have to be very, very cautious in our industry of what temperatures are on a hot bar, a cold bar, refrigerator, freezer, cooking temperatures, all of that. Like, we literally have life and death in the power of our hands as chefs, cooks, servers, all of that. All of that. We have a lot of responsibility, period. So when I checked the temperatures, you're supposed to check the temperatures every hour. I was like, temperature going down. So I'm quick with it. I went to the back and I got ice and I, put it under it, and I made sure it was surrounded, and then I would make sure the pans were actually more shallow to hold the temperature, and I would just have to fill up even more until this table was fixed. Was it time consuming? Absolutely. But would I put somebody's health at risk? No. So that means that I had to put in extra work. So I go to the manager. I tell them what's going on. They were like, well, the owner should be here tomorrow. Can we handle it for the rest of the day? I said, yes, I'll train the night shift person to do it. She said, no, can you please stay? The night person is not going to be as meticulous as you. Okay, fine, I will. So I stayed. So the next morning, I get up, I go to work early so I could catch the manager. Hey, we need a new cold bar, or we need to get this one fixed. I'll get to it. That was his response. Sir, your whole business is literally starting with this cold bar. What you mean you gonna get to it? Well, he was opening up another location at the same time. Guess what? That is not my focus. My focus is to make sure the one that you have established and worked on is doing what it's supposed to do. A lot of times, business owners will jump into another business venture and not take care of home first. Take care of they cow, their milk, their money cows, they call it, first. So that's another episode. That's a whole nother episode. Anyway, long story short, weeks go by. I've trained everybody on how to do it right. And then I take, I think, 3 or 4 days off. I had something that I had to do or whatever with my own business. And in those couple days, somebody got sick. Somebody got sick because they did not do exactly how I taught them to do. And that couple reported to the health department. The health department came and shut it down for 48 hours. So that doesn't sound like a lot of time, right? But in the restaurant industry, it is. Especially if you're using some of the revenue from that establishment to open up a new establishment. Yeah, a lot of people do that, but again, another episode for another day. So I come in and I see the health department and I'm like, And they were like, we have a case, and they talked about it and what day and all of this and XYZ. And so he comes in, the owner, and he starts screaming at me and the GM. And I'm like, first of all, who are you talking to? Second of all, I tried to tell you weeks ago, I've told you this 3 times, that this needed to be fixed, but you ignored me. You ignored me. So now it costs you. Why do we have to wait till stuff costs us to fix it? Why do we have to wait till everything fall apart to be like, oh, damn, I should have done it? When you have a team who cares about the business and tells you, hey, we need to get this fixed. Customer service in-house. If you would have listened to the team and got on it, or even told the GM what she needed to do in order for us to get it fixed, we could have got it done. This is why you need to have protocols. This is why you need to have SOPs. This is why you need to have a book with all the contacts of how to get anything fixed and done in your facility. It is a must. It is not something to play with. These are things you need to put into place of your establishment, whether you've been there 30 years and you ain't never had it, and you call Rick over there on Alton Street or whatever. Hey, Rick, I need you to come fix it. I don't care. Put it in a book. Put it in the book, because you are not going to always be available. Or you may not even have the capacity to be able to deal with what's going on. So this is why you have chains of command. This is why you have different people in different departments. This is why. Okay? So, with that being said, if he would have listened and received what I said, received what the GM said, then it would not have cost him so much money. Number 2, observant of your surroundings. So another part of customer service is paying attention to your surroundings. So have you ever gone to a facility and the tables were dirty and maybe they're short staffed? And so you're sitting waiting to be seated. You see all these empty tables, but they're dirty. Well, if you're an owner or a GM or the front of the house manager, hell, even if you are a back of the house manager, right? And y'all getting slammed, people coming in or whatever, take the time to either get somebody in your staff to help the front of the house, to clean the tables the right way, or you do it. Why we act like some people? Now I've seen amazing GMs and owners, and me included. Everything I ask you to do, I will do too. There's nothing I will ask you to do that I wouldn't do myself. But do you know what that looks like from the outside? You got all these tables, you got people in waiting, and you got dirty tables. Your service trying to handle, you might be short-staffed. Service trying to handle all of the different customers that are already seated. It does not kill you to serve, to clean the table, to be the host or hostess at that moment. That is teaching your team customer service from your leadership and your example. And you're taking accountability of what your team should do and how they could deal with high stress situations. They'll know, you know what? If TrèJ will do it, I know I can do it. And that's real. And the respect that they'll have for you. Yeah, I've cleaned toilets before. Because I don't want the bathrooms to be nasty, right? And so I remember walking into a restaurant. I was the restaurant manager of that particular establishment. And they were slammed. And I was coming in the evening shift because I used to do the evening and night, late night shift. And so my assistant manager, she was on the helping the cashier getting it out. And I had just came early, I don't know why. And so I went to go check the bathroom. I'm checking tables, making sure tables clean. I go check the bathroom, and it looked like it had a little something on the seat, and it just needed a little sprucing up. So I go in the back, and my team like, TrèJ, first of all, what you doing here? And then second of all, they saw me getting cleaning supplies and gloves. And they were like, what you doing? I was like, I'm finna go clean the bathroom. So one of my guys was like, nah, TrèJ, I can do it. Just give me like 30 minutes. And I'm like, but we don't have 30 minutes. Somebody may need to use the restroom right now. Somebody may need to wash their hands. But you know what that did? That established respect, customer service within, and to make sure that we had a good look. I don't want to go in no nasty, dirty bathroom or no. Let me tell y'all a secret. Before I eat anywhere, I go to the bathroom. And if the bathroom nasty, I ain't eating there. Period. And I mean that. So it doesn't take anything. I will never be above anything. I'm not saying that, yes, I'm going to clean toilets every day. Yes, I can assign, we have people that's assigned, each shift to do the different things. But they're taking care of our customers. It ain't going to kill me. And if we have if you have a very large establishment, like I used to be a manager over a sports facility, a minor league baseball sports facility. So that place is huge. Well, this is where you have a good connection with the cleaning team. And you make sure you like, hey, you hit that walkie-talkie and you just be like, hey, I need you to come hit this bathroom, please. Or you make sure that you have somebody on staff when you having games that either kind of stay close or they check the bathroom every hour, every 2 hours, however long. Because that's a good look. Customer service is not just within, it's in every aspect, and it starts internally. So the third thing, how you talk to your team. I could probably do an entire series on how you talk to your team. I get it. We see the Gordon Ramsays and folks cussing you out and acting a fool in the kitchen, and some of us are used to that. No. Now I have been guilty to say, hey, move your ass. I'm not about to be around here throwing plates and cussing folks out and calling them and demeaning them and making them feel like shit, because you know what that does? You don't know where a person's self-esteem is. And I know some folks will hear this and be like, but that's not my responsibility. They knew that they were walking into this type of situation and da-da-da-da. And you wonder why you have such a big turnover? You wonder why you can't keep people? This generation, let me tell you something about this generation. I respect the hell out of them because they're not finna deal with this stuff. They're not finna settle for that. There's too many other options out here. We have to really learn how to talk to people. I'm not saying be all, oh, it's okay. That's not what I mean. I mean talking to them man to man, woman to woman, woman to man, man to woman, respectfully, directly. And if you do need to do some type of disciplinary action, take them into the office. Take them into another part of the kitchen. Do not embarrass people in front of the staff. Let me tell you why I effed up one time. So I was tired, exhausted, irritated. I noticed the numbers were off. There was something off about the count. It wasn't adding up. How much money we were making versus how much inventory. And I knew there was something off. And so the owner, he cut down on family meal. He used to let everybody get like a free meal. If you were there, if you worked a double, you could get 2. So he said, we're going to have to like kind of cut that out, or it'll have to be, if you work 8 hours versus if you work 4 hours. Understandable. Now, we figured out what the actual problem was. The problem was that the manufacturer did not give us the right amount of chicken, but until we figured that out, we had to cut costs, in certain ways. So it started, in-house. And one of my guys was playing with recipes and cooked a bunch of chicken wings and came in there with this big old basket, because that's what they were used to doing. And he came in there and I went off. Now, mind you, no one had ever seen me go off before. Nobody. Because that wasn't how I do things. I had that man in tears. And my assistant manager, who, she was mean. She was just mean. She was sweet, but she was mean. She was just opposite of me. She even said, TrèJ, that was out of character for you, and you need to apologize to him. And I embarrassed him. I felt terrible. I also was woman enough to apologize to him in front of everybody. Y'all, we have to learn how to take ownership of how we treat our people. It is imperative. Customer service starts in house. Period.